it's like our ISRs are remote and some come there, but when they're together, I do think they bring a bit different dynamic about, especially the young people who are learning, they're absorbing information and getting some additional context of what they're doing, why they're doing it. They're seeing other organizations. Oh, now I am doing this part. There's an impact group over there. So I think having the ability to meet other people, learn more about the business, see some of the culture in action, definitely benefits an ISR or anyone else within the organization on how the worldwide technology way impacts people, impacts our business, customers, and the community.
Yeah, definitely amazing. So we've got some other comments here. LinkedIn user says, find ways to handle hard better. Yes, Joe, absolutely. Frank has I think the clip probably from the Duke coach in there. So Frank, thanks for posting that. Amar Preet says, great to make it to this one. Love the thought about giving people reasons to come to the office rather than simply mandating it. Thanks, Joe. So very cool. And Tucker, I don't know if you have the link for the Humantech AI, but Joe, I don't know if you remember those disc profile things that we all did probably like 20 years ago, the kind of DISC. So you might be a influencer, go across a different perspective. Amar Preet has this cool company, Humantech AI. You can actually customize it where you put in, like I could put in you, and I'll send it to you afterwards. I should have done it before, but we'll actually give you your profile. So if somebody's selling to you, here's what you should do, and here's how you should do it. So similarly, if you're trying to, God forbid, somebody's trying to go, sell to Billy Scannell, it's going to, come up and tell you, here's kind of what he likes, what he doesn't like. My guess is he's probably a strong D and likes things short and sweet, doesn't like things long-winded, likes things in bullets. And they also have a follow-on tool that will actually customize emails to the person's personality profile. So I think Tucker put the link on here. So they're kind enough, I think, to do like a 2-week trial. Then you also have, I've got it plugged in. If I go to my LinkedIn, it comes up as well. So you think about, if you're trying to do partnerships with companies and people, inside sellers, definitely cool product. So Amar Preet. Gave you a little plug there, and Tucker posted it. And just before I forget, Tucker, about posting it. So let's talk maybe a little on the diversity best practices. Know you do a lot. So we're getting to the end here. So maybe we just allowed kind of one or two bullets and talking points. And Tucker, maybe also pull up Alexander Group is a terrific consulting partner to sales community. They've got a women's leader CRO event that's coming up in Chicago. So Tucker, I should know. Sorry, Tucker. I think in the late summer or fall. So there's a link there. But anyway, a couple nuggets on best practices for diversity.
Yeah, it was. We hired a 3-star general from the Army, who was the CIO of the Army, to do some work in our federal business. But we also as an African-American gentleman, we moved him into also leading our diversity initiatives, along with our EVP of HR. So those two tab team. And I think some of the best practices that we have found out, obviously a lot of people has their ERG groups that are out there. And, so we have ERG groups for Black, for Latinx, for women, for disabilities, for veterans, LGBTQ plus, and I'm missing a couple, but you get the point. So all of those are
very focused effort.
An executive leads that. A worldwide technology executive member from the executive team is the sponsor. And then they have events like, we had for Black History Month, we had a number of events for this women's, it's coming up this month, where we have different women speakers coming in and speaking, on a webinar as well as live. And they do different events and internally about, best practices and panel discussions and so forth. Same thing for veterans. So I think that is a big one. And then you couple with the speaker series that we have across for all of our company and our partners to really focus in on those ERG groups for different contents and topics that would resonate with those different areas. And then also we have our people have the ability to do videos where they'll call out a challenge that they had that relates to a particular ERG. Whether it was, I'm Black and this happened, or I'm a woman and this happened, or in this, and it gives them the ability to really showcase and be vulnerable so that people, I have mental health as an example, a number of those, and it gives them the ability to show what happened. They have the courage to say what happened, but also the vulnerability to let other people open up. They're not alone in some of these areas. And so that has been hugely effective for our organization, and people do love, listening to those, and then and they get encouraged to really confront some of their challenges as well. So there have been a number of best practices around that. We focused on diversity spend, diversity hires, all of that every Monday morning at the executive team level, where we are in our percentages. There's a lot of focus, a lot of inspection, and a lot of sponsorship around initiatives around all those areas.
That's great. So a few more questions here. Time flies when you're having fun. So advice for people breaking into tech sales. There's a whole laundry list of things, I'm sure. Pick one thing you would suggest.
Well, if you're in the tech sales, I go back to what I said before, is you have to have the passion to learn. Because we all know here on the call, technology is ever changing, ever evolving, and someone needs to understand and take the time and have that passion, not during work. You can do that all day, but on your own too. You have to be on your own time, spending time. I had the person talk to me in the past about wanting to be in technology sales, and I'm like, okay, really? So, and that person worked at Worldwide, doing is being on the outside. I'm like, so what are you doing to better yourself? Well, I mean, I work here, so I think I'm learning. I'm like, hey, you played basketball. Did you stop when you would stop practicing? You never went home and did free throws or worked on your agility or never your fitness? No, I did it all the time. That's what you have to do in technology sales. You have to hone. You have to have your fitness around technology. You have to work on your own time to be better, prepare for meetings better. All that is on your own time. And so remember that if you want to in there. And then I would say build your team around you. People that you can ask some questions, people that can help you, guide you, and push you as well. Have that mentor that can really help you as well. So I think those are big areas that I always speak about.
Awesome. And then advice for those impacted by recent layoffs in tech sales. Again, one bullet?
Resiliency. Be resilient. Because I do think that, good people will find good homes. They'll be, this is a circle. It seems to always be layoffs, then a hiring boom and so forth, but continue to work hard, network with your people, and I guarantee you'll find a good spot that makes sense for you.
Awesome. And then I'll let you have maybe, 3 or a handful. There's obviously a lot you've had exposure to. What about examples of some sales leaders that you respect and maybe one attribute about them?
Well, I would definitely not call out Bill Hogan because he's not one that I respect, but I'm just kidding, Bill. But there's so many of them. I think that the one that you actually had that resonates with me, because it was during some times with me, but you've had him as a speaker on here, and that's Carl Eschenbach. Yep. Carl has been a friend, a mentor, a partner as well. And obviously now I know he's the CEO of Workday, but he has spent we've spent, I'd say, a number of dinners together talking about business, but more importantly about life and prioritization of life. He asked me to, back in 2016, he asked me to have dinner with him, read a book before I had dinner with him. So he made me read a book, by the way. And the book was called Halftime. And it was, what are you going to do in the first half of your life is, be successful, whatever your definition of. Go to halftime, figure out what the second half of your life is going to be. How do you parlay your success into significance to others? And so I read that book. We had dinner, talked for 4 hours. And, and it gave me a great perspective because 2 months later, I was diagnosed with cancer. And so it really, I was able to reflect a lot on what that book was about and the importance and priorities in life. So we always, catch up in various times and talk about those areas. So he's one that I definitely would call out. There's other ones like Chuck Robbins and the Billy Channel of the world. I can tell a funny story about Billy if we have time, but there's a number of great leaders that I have been fortunate enough to spend time with, be friends with, but also do business with. And to me, that really marks the really the area around what's important. You want to do business with people you enjoy being around and being friends with. And fortunately, I have had that happen to me with meeting some great people that do great things for a lot of different companies and organizations. So they've been great examples and role models for me to follow. So happy and humbled to be a part of that.
Awesome. Well done. Well, you're leading by example extremely well. And Tucker, maybe I won't read through them all, but some nice tidbits here. Bill Hogan talking about the culture at WWT. Andrew Horner, who I assume is related to Matt one way or another. Pleasure working, WWT. And then Dean talking about the technical acumen, which ultimately is something that's really important as well. So appreciate it. I usually ask for those that know me if there's any PG Randy story. Don't know if anything comes to mind that's what we're sharing or not.
Well, I would just say that I can go back to, I'm going to guess and say an HP conference in Vegas. And you and I were at a bar, and we had a bunch of people around us with us, and you said, hey, we should go to this over here, this area, or this bar or location. And I'm like, really? And yeah, let's go. And we went, and I'll just leave it there because what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, right, Randy?
There you go. Yes.
I'm sure you remember that. It was fun. It was all good fun, but we had a great time.
All good. All clean. Anyway, so you've been awesome. Thanks for the engagement from people watching along. So again, thanks to Gong for your sponsorship. For those that are not members yet of Sales Community, you can go to salescommunity.com/winterfree. And next week, we're going to have Mark Stevenson on, who's a very seasoned CRO as well. And his topic is going to be why ICP is even more critical now for go-to-market teams. So obviously making sure you have the company aligned in terms of ideal customer profile, who you're selling to, titles, messages, kind of all that good stuff. So that will be fantastic as well. So Tucker, thanks for your help behind the scenes as always. And Joe, you're awesome. We wish we had more time, but have a great day. And thanks so much. And good luck for your continued success around all your facets of life. And look forward to hearing if it's Papa Joe or what you end up getting called.
Thanks, Randy. It's a pleasure being here. Thanks for having me.